guys, today I want to talk about getting good sleep and weight loss and some tips and tricks I've learned along the way. Before I continue, I want to introduce myself. My name's Julie. I'm an emotional eating health coach, and I help people gain control of their thoughts to lose weight. So what I've learned along the way, these are just a few tips and tricks. I don't know everything. I'm not an expert. I highly recommend that you check out the sleep experts out there and what they have to say. Some new information, not the old stuff, about how to get good restorative sleep. Tip number one is blue light. Now we have these LED lights in our homes that we use to save energy, and these LED lights are blue light. And so now every time the sun goes down, we turn on these blue lights that emulate the sun and make our bodies stop producing melatonin for good sleep. So it's almost impossible to stay away from this, because even if you didn't have LED lights in your home, you still have your computers, your TV screens, and your phones. You can add a light dimmer on your phone that puts out yellow light if you want. But then you still have your TV and you still have your lights in your home. So what I recommend is getting some blue blocker glasses. And the blue blocker glasses I'm talking about are not the ones that you use for your computer screen during the daytime that are kind of white. These blue blocker glasses are very yellow, orange, or red. I would stay away from anything that says it's a blue blocker that is not orange, yellow, or red, because they are not true blue blockers. They're probably just UV blockers, or they take out a tiny bit of the blue light, because we're all inundated by it even during the daytime. So they are helpful during the daytime, especially for those who are on the computer all day, to protect your eyes. But they are not the ones I'm talking about for sleep. So make sure you get the right ones. You'll pretty much know if you have the right blue blocker glasses, because if you look at a blue light, it'll disappear completely if it's the right blue blocker. Tip number 2 is to stay away from stressful movies, like horror movies or thrillers or suspense movies, because those get the stress hormones and the adrenaline going in your body, and is not very conducive to getting good rest. Tip number 3 is if you are on a low carb diet or a high carb diet, I suggest eating most of your carbs towards the end of your eating day. Because I recommend to stop eating at least 2 hours prior to bedtime. So when you're at the end of your eating day, try to eat slow carbs that are carb-rich foods that have fiber in them, and that will help your body to digest it slowly. And the reason this is important is because sometimes people will wake up in the middle of the night hypoglycemic, and it makes your heart race, it makes your mind spin, and you don't even know you're hungry, but your body's like, time to wake up, time to get food. Some people are full on hungry when they wake up, but not always. So try to get some slow carbs in you so that you can rest through the night without having to wake up. For those of you who are on the ketogenic diet, you don't have to worry about this as much. If your body has learned how to burn fat efficiently, then you can pretty much stop eating anytime you want to, and no carbs whatsoever, because your body's going to reach for the fat for fuel, and you'll sleep just fine. And I mean, some people on the keto diet never reach that fat burning efficiency. So if you find that's you, and you find you're not getting good sleep on the ketogenic diet, and you've been doing it for a few months, one or 2 months, and you're still not sleeping right, I would suggest going to either a low carb or a low fat diet. Okay, so tip number 4 is sleeping pills and melatonin. So we'll start out with melatonin. Melatonin is good. I take it myself personally when I'm having a bad week. Like during my cycle, the cycle right before my period, I don't sleep very well, so I'll take melatonin, and that has helped me quite a bit. But here's the caveat with melatonin. If you take melatonin on a regular basis, the body will down-regulate its melatonin making ability, And then your body will no longer know how to do it by itself, and you'll be dependent on melatonin. This is something that they have found that's new and not widely known. So I'm sharing this with you guys. It's good if it's just taken occasionally, but don't make it so your body has to rely on it. Sleeping pills. I wanted to throw this in here with my tip number 4. Sleeping pills may make you feel like you're getting good sleep because you don't remember anything. You just fell asleep, you woke up, and you're like, okay, I must have slept really good because I don't remember anything. But you're not reaching deep restorative sleep. And deep restorative sleep is so important because it's helping you to process stress from the day before and helping you to get rid of plaque that's building up in your brain causing Alzheimer's. There's so many good things about deep restorative sleep, and sleeping pills are not where it's at. But if you have to take sleeping pills, do it. Don't stop taking them just because I said this. But see if you can work on weaning yourself off sleeping pills by trying some of the other tricks that I mentioned. Tip number 5, caffeine. So some people are more sensitive to caffeine than others. I being one of the people who is probably a 6 on the sensitivity scale, being kind of high. So I have to stop drinking caffeine at noon, or I will end up waking up in the middle of the night. Like, I don't have a problem falling asleep, but for some reason, when I drink too much or drink caffeine later in the day, it makes me wake up in the middle of the night. If you're not so sensitive to caffeine, I still recommend stopping caffeine around 4 o'clock, but experiment with it and see what works for you. And trick number 6, in the daytime, try to expose yourself to as much sunlight as possible, because sunlight helps you to release serotonin in your brain, which is the happy, feel-good hormone. And it helps with the circadian rhythm, which is really important. So if you're getting exposed to a decent amount of light, even if it's cloudy outside during the daytime, then you're going to sleep a lot better at nighttime. And trick number 7, my last tip. My last tip is to get some good exercise. And I say that with a caveat because sometimes it may not be a good time to exercise. Like if you haven't been getting good sleep regularly, sometimes exercise can just add to the stress that you haven't processed during deep restorative sleep. But when you find yourself getting good sleep, try to exercise. When you find that you have the energy to do so as much as possible. And that will also help you get deep restorative sleep. So that's it on my tips and tricks. And just remember, if you can't do all of these things, I mean, we all have seasons of life. Don't beat yourself up, because beating yourself up because you can't get good sleep will work against you. It'll make things worse. So not only will you not be getting good sleep, but now you'll be stressed out about not getting good sleep. And we don't want that. That's the opposite of my purpose of this video. I just say slowly start to work these things into your life. See if you can get off your sleep aids and do what works for you. But I just wanted to share the new things I've learned along my journey and all my scientific podcast listenings, and share these with you guys because I know how getting deep restorative sleep will stabilize your mood and help you to stop emotional eating. So that's it. If you guys would like to check out my coaching services, go to my website at www.destinationnewlife.com and hit the free consult button, and I would be so happy to talk to you. Okay, you guys, have a blessed week. Bye.